Thank you for joining us. This is Health Your Own Way podcast, and I am your host, Moak. Welcome to another episode. Today, when we're talking about the role of mental stamina plays in going the distance with entrepreneurship. I really want to have this conversation because many of us are entrepreneurs. You know, we have our side business or we have a full-time business, and we understand stamina is a big thing. So today, my guest speaker is Andrea Chase. She's a communication consultant, an entrepreneur from Ottawa, Canada, one of my towns I used to live in. She's passionate about entrepreneurship, women in business, and women in tech, and working on the mental stamina required to go the distance in business. So I want to say, Andrea, thank you for joining me today. I look forward to this conversation. Anything you want to add before we start today?
I think you basically covered it. So you used to live in Ottawa? That was my quick question. You're familiar with the city?
Yeah, I lived outside of Ottawa. Like I used to live I know where New Orleans is, Saint Bernardin. I used to actually live in Saint Bernardin, Bourgeois, Hamilton, not Hamilton, sorry, Hawkesbury. That's it, Hawkesbury. I used to go to school at Prescott Russell. Yeah.
Okay, so your old stomping grounds kind of thing. That's really cool. I didn't realize that. Very cool.
I'm going back in 3 weeks just for a competition, but it's not about me. Let's talk about you, Andrea. So let's talk about you. All right, I guess today, you know what does it mean by mental stamina? Like, I know that it seems self-explanatory, but a lot of people may have a different opinion. So to make sure we're all on the same page, in your opinion, what does mental stamina mean?
Yeah, so great question. So I would say it's basically building up that resilience and that confidence in your mind so that you can overcome basically any challenges that come your way. And I would say anybody, whether you're in business, entertainment, otherwise, I think we all can really benefit in our personal lives too from working on keeping our mental state strong and being confident and being resilient to those curveballs that life's going to throw your way no matter what happens. We can't avoid that. So, in short, that's what I would define mental stamina to me, meaning.
I appreciate you saying that because, that was what I thought of. But again, a lot of people, it's just more clarity. And as an entrepreneur, and I know you are one as well, and we're going to get in details on what you've been up to and what you're passionate about, is why do you think having that mental stamina is important for our success as entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so kind of like I said before, I think as an entrepreneur, there's going to be every unexpected thing that's coming down the tubes. I think that's the one thing we can expect is the unexpected, right?
Okay.
So in order to really go the long to go the long distance, when you're building a company, you're growing a company, maybe you're getting to the next level, I think it's really crucial to be able to understand how to overcome the challenges that are thrown your way, right? So I always say, and you've probably heard it too, it's not a marathon. It is a marathon, rather. It's not a sprint, right? We're going that long distance, and I think that if you from the beginning aren't really taking this into account and considering these kind of things, you're probably going to burn out, right? And if you're burning out from the get-go or early on, I think it's going to be really hard to achieve whatever success looks like to you as an entrepreneur. So I think keeping in mind from the beginning can really benefit you in the long run.
So let me ask you a question. You're an entrepreneur. What did you learn? How did you know? Sorry, let me phrase my question then. When did you realize that you had to have the mental stability or even the mental stamina to succeed in whatever you're trying to achieve? Like, when did you know, like, okay, I gotta get my head straight?
That light bulb moment. I would say probably through the COVID pandemic, right?
Okay.
We're all hunkered down and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, so many businesses were really hard hit by the pandemic. And my industry was super hard hit as well. So I'm not discounting obviously any other industries, but we were at this point where it was like, can I even carry on with this? And I started realizing that I was losing passion for the project. I was feeling very fatigued and I couldn't understand why. I was sleeping, but my mind wasn't resting. And I think it was probably almost near the end of 2020 where I went, I don't know if this is burnout. I don't know if this is just frustration or what this is, but I think that there's something going on here because I don't have the energy as a very high energy person. I don't have the energy or the gumption to do the things that I'm so passionate about, that I want to do, and I know I want to, but what is it that's holding me back? So I think it was at that time that I kind of started really looking inward and saying, what's going on with me here, and how can I make a better situation for myself? What can I do to get back to that motivated place that I want to be, that is the place that helps me grow my business and figures out, okay, yes, we're all in these really big challenging times, but there's always something that we can do to move forward, even if it's in a global pandemic. And so for me, I shifted my focus. I really started working on my own mental strength. And I have some tips that we may talk about
No, we're
after
going to talk about
too,
it now,
of
Andrea.
how I was doing that. Okay. Yeah, we'll roll into it.
Tell us how you did it, Andrea.
I do have to say, I think it's different for everyone, right?
Fair
Like,
enough.
I don't think this is like A to Z, this is the playbook. I think everybody's different. We're all unique human beings, obviously, but I think there are a few things that are pretty standard, that if you're practicing these things on a regular basis, it can help you. And then fill in the cracks with the stuff that fuels you up, because at the end of the day, when we fuel up our souls, our bodies, our minds, we're going to be in a better place mentally to do the things we want to do. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share a quote with you. It was a quote that really resonated with me. And it was from James Clear. And he said, I accumulated small but consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. All this to say, it's that consistency, right? So taking these tips I'm about to share and consistently doing them, not just it's like working out, right? Like, we can't just work out 1 week and then go, okay, where's my six pack kind of thing. So for me, starting off, I'll start off with saying having that personal care routine. So whatever that means to you, but for me, it's starting the day off with a powerful workout or some kind of movement, having, the practice of mindfulness or meditation or yoga or whatever it is that speaks to you in place, and having that mind-body connection, I think, is really important. And also visualizing what your ideal life looks like. So I think it's really tough to be mentally strong when your brain's all mixed up and you don't know which way you're going, right? So having a clear vision of where you want to go, I think, can be really helpful. And listening, like I said, to your mind and body, and giving her or him what it wants, right? Listen, we're all different, but tune into your mind and your body. Eat those brain stimulating foods. We have to obviously not discount that. Get your sleep, all these things we've heard, right? But they really are so important. Also, walking away from your computer. I think as entrepreneurs, we can feel very guilty sometimes when we're not, like, we're at the mercy of this hustle culture all the time, have to be working like 18-hour days, go, no breaks. But at the end of the day, I really don't believe that that's going to get you where you want to go. You're going to hit that breaking burnout point, and then you'll just be at that subpar level. In my opinion, you're not producing those high level results. Find that slice of joy in every day. Find your joy every day, whatever joy means to you. So I would encourage the listeners, if you don't actually know what that is, maybe you're at a point where you don't know what that is, I encourage you to go off and explore. Go have some fun and fill your soul with some joy. Laugh. Give your soul some laughter, those deep belly laughs, and spend some time in nature, spend time with people that you love, and surround yourself with positive people and create a support system that is going to fuel you up. So when you're feeling kind of down, or you're feeling like, these hurdles are coming your way, you don't know which way to turn, it's so powerful, I think, to have that support system, whether it be fellow entrepreneurs or people in just your life, your social circle. Another thing that's kind of an interesting school of thought is learning a new language or new vocabulary. So there is this idea that when you're used to learning something on a regular basis, such as a language or something like that, it can actually really help you to build up your mental strength. as well as reading, right? So I think we all probably who are in business might read professional blogs or journals or books or whatever it is, but at the same time, incorporating some fiction into your reading practice can be helpful too, like expanding our mind to think about, learn about different things that are not necessarily just about our business, can also be beneficial. And personally, I find when I tackle the hardest tasks of the day first, then the rest of my day can go a little bit more smoothly. And it can also help you feel like you've achieved something, right? It's always a good way to start your day off, propel it forward with knowing, okay, I checked this hard thing off of the list. And that gives you confidence to, like I was talking about before, mental stamina requires confidence and resilience. And I think the last thing I would say is to remember how far you've come. So I think on those downtrodden days, I think can be very easy to think, I'm not moving forward, I'm stuck in this place. But at the end of the day, if you really think about where you started from, even if you just started recently, the fact you started and focus on where you've come from can really help you work on that mental strength. So the other part of it is I did touch on, a support system, but I think mentorship and networking can be really helpful too. So finding a mentor or even being a mentor. So recently I became a mentor for a really great program called The Forum. And I had a little bit of a imposter syndrome. I'll be honest with you, Mo. Like they came to me, found me through LinkedIn. They said, we loved your bio. We'd love you to be a mentor. And I said, me? You want me to be a mentor? I said, I don't have everything figured out. And she said to me, one of the people that was on board, she said, you don't have to have everything figured out. That's not what we're asking you to do. So that kind of shifted my mind too. And actually, that's been a really great experience. It's a great pairing, but it's actually really helped me build up my confidence too. So I guess I keep saying one more thing, but the last thing I just thought of was about taking the downtime. So kind of wheeling back to this hustle culture and all of that kind of stuff. Obviously, entrepreneurship, we can all agree, takes hard work, consistency, dedication, sacrifice. Like I'm not discounting that because, we're in this and we know this, but it's okay to give ourselves permission to take downtime. Like, we just came off of a long weekend here and it was beautiful, right? Having fun time with family and friends, but then you come back today and you're feeling just rejuvenated. Personally, I feel more rejuvenated. So I think giving yourself permission, saying it's okay that I'm going to walk away for a bit and I'm going to come back stronger. And also acknowledging that the losses are part of the journey too, right? And one of the mentors I have that gave me the best piece of business, one of the best pieces of business advice that I ever got was to celebrate the wins in your business, no matter how big or small they are. And it doesn't have to be this grandiose celebration, but to acknowledge it, right? And I think acknowledging that can also help with that resiliency piece. So I hope that was helpful.
It was like I agree with I actually agree with everything you said because sometimes you may mentally think that you know it. A lot of people know this, but then hearing somebody else say it kind of just it's like, okay, you know what, you're forgetting these things. You have to do that. And you, as you mentioned, it's not a race. Like this is not a race. This is your life. So you
Yeah.
need to build like entrepreneurship is not easy. You're gonna have bad days, and good days. Sometimes you get spit out and spit back in, and
Um,
most of the time you're spitting yourself out and spitting yourself back in there. Because you're right, like there's a lot of stuff that doubt. I think for a lot of people, I know you mentioned earlier that your industry changed. Like what is it that you're doing that you want to share with us? Like what should we know about you that's up next that we would like to celebrate for you?
That's very sweet of you. So, lots going on. As you probably see from my bio, I'm involved with two companies. So, I'm co founder of a consulting company, very heavily IT focused, but we're actually starting to get into some marketing contracts. So, that's exciting. And that's one thing that's coming up. The other is my baby that I'm very attached to, ProCabby, tech startup that we connect licensed professional chauffeurs, so licensed taxi and limousine drivers with passengers on demand. So sounds like a ride sharing model, which it is, but we're really tapping into that professional driver side. So
Okay.
we're trying to help them get some skin back in the game and offer them some really great perks. It's a free program, but we're actually just gearing up to start fundraising for our seed round for ProCabby. So that's a really big thing coming up in the fall, and always lots in the works, but that's the Coles Notes version.
I love that. And if anybody was interested in maybe following on your journey or learning more about what you are offering, what you're doing, what's the best platform to reach you out on?
So I'm on LinkedIn as myself, Andrea Chase. I'm loving building that network there. Through COVID, I've met so many amazing business people and entrepreneurs. I'm also on Facebook, but our company ProCabby, we'd love some love shown to that. We'll follow you back, we'll check you out, and our handle on Instagram is ProCabby. So we're always open to feedback too. So if anybody checks out some of the marketing we're doing, that's a real passion of mine, obviously. I'd love to hear your feedback on some of what we're doing online there.
I love that. And I think, I wish you all the best and success. I appreciate you sharing your mental stamina and tips that a lot of people can help, because everybody has different niches out there. And, you never know what's going to work out. But if you're looking to learn more, reach out to Andrea. We're going to have her details in the show notes as well as in the video. And I want to say thank you very much for having the time with me to talk to me today, Andrea, and I appreciate you. We're glad to have you join us. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, share with anyone that needs to be empowered and inspired, and don't forget to join us next week for the next episode of Health Your Own Way podcast. Have a good day, you guys.